I'm doing more comfort food than I have ever done in the past.
That sound familiar? Thanksgiving right around the corner, and the pandemic is already driving lots of us to the fridge or the pantry with intense cravings for comfort food. You know what I'm talking about. In tonight's KPIX5 original report, Juliette Goodrich on the science behind COVID cravings and what you can do to gain back control.
Nearly 9 months into the pandemic, and we're coping, but
things aren't getting better as we thought.
Paranoid all the time. I haven't even started school yet.
I don't really know what's going to happen with my job.
While a mask can slow the spread of the virus, there's one thing it can't do: stop the cravings.
Ice cream,
Pizza,
cookies,
Noodles,
or boba.
There's a lot of eating of our feelings.
If you're constantly craving comfort food during COVID, you're not alone. Our brains are wired that way.
We're really fighting some tough neurobiology.
UCSF's Dr. Elissa Epel is a world expert on emotions, what we eat, and the impact on health.
COVID is a perfect storm for stress eating.
She explains how the pandemic has created a chronic stress situation. When faced with stress, our bodies churn out high doses of cortisol, a stress hormone. Cortisol then activates a part of the brain called the rewards area.
Our reward area creates cravings. Cravings are a survival mechanism.
Anything sweet is soothing and regulates stress.
We're going to tend to go for the highly rewarding, high comfort foods, like those high sugary dessert foods or high fat, high sugar combination foods.
Dr. Rachel Radin of UCSF is an expert on stress, eating, and metabolic health. She says once the connection is made, it can create a vicious cycle.
Where our brain makes this association between stress, comfort foods, reward, pleasure, and then when we're stressed again, we tend to go for these foods over and over.
Because the food makes me feel so happy, I continue to do it, even though I know I shouldn't be, unfortunately.
All of this is creating a different kind of public health crisis percolating inside our bellies, a shifting metabolism.
For whatever reason, when we're really chronically stressed, we tend to deposit fat around the stomach area.
That puts us at risk for insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. And while life during the pandemic feels out of control, there's hope.
What we do have control about is what we eat. And let's just focus on sugar-sweetened beverages.
Jamie Schmidt is a principal investigator for Sutter Health at CPMC. She heads up a study that began late last year involving several Sutter hospitals. Half swapped out sugary beverages for healthier choices.
If we can reduce that abdominal fat, it's just improves their risk factors for disease.
650 employees signed up. A smaller pilot study at UCSF revealed a big benefit. Those who drank fewer sugary beverages,
their waist circumference reduced significantly.
Jamie's study was interrupted by the pandemic, fires, and the election. Her study now includes questions on anxiety, stress, and eating. Analysis begins early next year. Until then, what's in your pantry? What's in your fridge?
So think about it. You got this. These are decisions you can make.
Swap out one sugary drink for a 0-calorie beverage each day. By the end of the month, you'll drop a pound. In Alameda County, Juliette Goodrich, KPIX5.
Potato chips, gotta have them, gotta have them. Another good resource, UCSF's website. It's got some great information on how to cope with pandemic fatigue, distress, sleep problems, and depression. We have a lot more info on kpix.com.